And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We have a great show for you today. As always, we are going to skip the intro a little bit today. We're going to just go right into it. Today is Sunday, so, I mean, hey, we're 58 minutes away from kickoff, so today we're going to do our final thoughts right before the games. So, we've been talking throughout the week. These are our final thoughts on what we think is going to happen. Real quickly, let's review our picks real quickly. What we picked on Friday's show on what we think is going to happen. These are our locks. We got Ravens -1.5, Saints +4.5, and Bears +6.5. And then in our 99% guarantees, we've got Seahawks -3, Dolphins +4.5, and Panthers +10. All right, now let's go to some breaking news. Who's in and who's out? Well, Sam Darnold's not playing. So that's that. If you thought the Jets were going to have a chance of beating the Patriots this week, it all just went out the window because Sam Darnold is not playing. So that means that the Jets get Joe Flacco. Not good. Not good at all. All right. What else we got? Baker Mayfield. He has COVID, but they're on a bye this week, so we'll have to keep an eye on this. He doesn't have COVID. It's a staff member that he was in close contact with, so it's just out of precaution. But he should be good to go for next week. As I said, the Browns are on a bye this week, so no influence on the game this week. All tests this week, so all games are good to go. No reschedules, no postponements, no delays. All games are good to go this week. Another great sign. 9 weeks in, and we haven't really had too much problems with COVID canceling, an entire week of games or anything like that. So once again, another week is all good to go. Matthew Stafford's COVID test came back negative this morning. Absolutely fantastic. So he's good to go as well. He will be starting quarterback for the Lions this week. What else do we got? Oh, no, wide receiver Calvin Ridley. He is not going to be playing today. No COVID, just a mid-foot sprain that he's been dealing with, and he's not able to go today. Unfortunately, I am big on Calvin Ridley. I do think he's a solid receiver. Luckily for the Falcons, Julio Jones is still back, so they are just going to be down their number 2 receiver this week. In that, we've got some interesting names returning to the lineup this week. Christian McCaffrey's back for the Panthers. Absolutely fantastic. We'll see if that line has changed because that +10, Panthers +10 that we've taken this week, that was before it was officially announced that Christian McCaffrey was going to play. So we'll see if the line has changed at any. I would expect it maybe comes down to probably Panthers +9. I would expect that Christian McCaffrey is probably a solid point, especially just kind of how well the Panthers have been doing without him. This is a huge break to get him back this week for them. Michael Thomas is finally back for the Saints, so well done. Drew Brees has been rocking 26 points these last 2 games without Michael Thomas. He's back. He's got a huge division rivalry matchup against the Bucs this week, so that's going to be huge for them. Look at this. Dez Bryant, he's back in the lineup. The Ravens activated him this week, so he's going to be playing today. He will be on the field. Will he get some passes? Hopefully. Will he get some play time? Hopefully. We need to see Dez Bryant back on the field because, man, oh, man, if y'all remember, I know he's been out of the league for a couple of years, but those days in Dallas, this man is an absolute monster, a true number 1 receiver, and I'm so excited to watch this man work, especially with Lamar Jackson. Ooh, boy. All right. Now we're talking. Dez Bryant finally back. Going to be great. And, speaking of, wide receivers that haven't played in a while, Antonio Brown is officially back and ready to go for the Bucs this week. So, I mean, Dez and Antonio Brown both coming back this week. It's just great to watch. These are fantastic wide receivers in the game. I mean, it hasn't been the same without these two folks. I mean, having great wide receivers, you cannot have too many in this league. So welcome back, Dez Bryant. Man, we've missed you for a long time. Antonio Brown, you played one game for the Patriots last season, and now you're here with the Bucs. So, I mean, it's great to have him back. Hopefully, he's taking care of all, those off-the-field issues. And, we're going to have some great talent. Christian McCaffrey, Mike Thomas, Dez Bryant, Antonio Brown all coming back this week. It's absolutely fantastic. This is going to be a great day of football, folks, truly. And then this is a story I do want to get into, not today, but The Jets players alert the NFL Players Association about hidden cameras in the locker room. Now, I've kind of skimmed through the story just quickly, but it seems like some people knew that the cameras were there, and some people didn't. We'll dive into the story maybe on Monday or Tuesday, but this is just another thing of this Jets organization being trash, Adam Gase not being a good head coach, Sam Darnold just, the fact that he's not playing this week, I mean, this literally just broke yesterday. I mean, like midday yesterday, 2 o'clock yesterday, this broke. I mean, nobody had any clue about this. This was kind of just sprung on us. So I wonder, this story broke, and then the day after, Sam Darnold, said he wasn't going to be practicing yesterday, and he was doubtful to play on Monday, tomorrow, against the Patriots. So we'll see if this has any correlation. Probably not, but we will have to definitely keep an eye on the story to see if anything comes of it, and maybe we'll review the story on Monday or Tuesday. Alrighty, so that's just the quick news, up to date, that we're all good to go on these games. So let's see if any lines have changed. We'll give our final thoughts on all these games now that we know kind of, all right, who's actually in and who's actually out. Do we actually like what we've taken on Friday? Should we change anything? So here we go. Let's get right into it. I'll refresh the lines right here, see if anything is different. I really want to see it on that this Panthers. No, it's still at +10, so Christian McCaffrey not moving the needle too much, or Vegas, like myself, already kind of factored Christian McCaffrey was going to play this week. I mean, this wasn't a secret, folks. I mean, he was practicing kind of later in the week last week, couldn't go last week in that game. We all kind of knew he was going to play, so Vegas knew that, we knew that, and the line is still Panthers +10, and I mean, really? You're giving me 10 points with the Panthers? Let's not start with this game. Let's start with Ravens Colts since it's on top. We won't do all that just quite yet. All right, here we go. Ravens Colts. I absolutely love the Ravens still. They're still getting a point. I still don't know. They're still getting a point. Were they? Ravens -1.5. So wow, that's a complete flip, and that's really interesting, especially with Dez Bryant playing. Not really sure why this Ravens line is really flipping. We can't trust Phillip Rivers, folks, and this Colts defense is good, but it's not, exceptional. So I think we're getting tremendous value with the Ravens here +1. Dez Bryant's here, Lamar Jackson's good to go, J.K. Dobbins is still good to go, so the rushing game is going to be 5 for the Ravens. On the road, I don't think they lose 2 in a row. I love this Ravens pick. Now you're getting a point. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Ravens +1. You cannot trust Phillip Rivers, folks. He always reverts to classic Phillip Rivers, multiple turnovers when he's facing the good teams. The Ravens are, they haven't beat a good team, but we know this Ravens, they are, top tier caliber. They had the weapons last year. They made it, they made a decently deep playoff run. But yeah, this Ravens, Lamar Jackson, we know, he turned the ball over 4 times last week, and they only lost by 4. And they were, in the red zone on those last 2 drives, just could not, be clutch, but they were in that game against the Steelers. And this Colts defense is nowhere near the level of the Steelers. This Colts offense, I think, is actually worse than the Steelers offense. I would take Big Ben over Phillip Rivers in a heartbeat. And the Steelers have a ton of wide receivers that, are very good and consistent. And the Colts don't have that. Yeah, they have T.Y. Hilton, good #1 receiver, but other than that, the running game is pretty non-existent, and yeah, their wide receivers are a little limited. They're not as deep as the Steelers are. So I absolutely love the Ravens here. Take them straight up, +100. I mean, you get +100, such great value here. Ravens +100. I mean, Ravens are never like underdogs in the first place. So the fact that, we're getting +100 on the money line, folks, I mean, you basically double your money. I mean, you bet 500, you win 500. I mean, it's as simple as that. This is great value. Best bet of the week, just Ravens straight up, and you get the value with it. That's what's so great. So last second bet, we're 15 minutes out from kickoff. Have a little fun. Ravens, put a grand on it. Have a little fun. Put a grand on it. I'm telling y'all, folks, this is truly the best bet. Ravens money line, best bet of the week, hands down. All right, let's keep it going. As we said, Panthers line did not change. And I still love it. We're getting 10. This Panthers team has really been competitive in all their games that they play. They don't get blown out. Teddy Bridgewater is very consistent. He just hasn't really proven himself to be clutch, and we've kind of seen that narrative this season of just players not being clutch. Daniel Jones keeps his team in the game, but in the fourth quarter, he just can't be clutch. We saw it, on Monday Night Football when he faced Tom Brady. He got the touchdown, but the 2-point conversion That would have been clutch if you got that. Could not do that. So we know with Daniel Jones, maybe Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, he's taking a lot of sacks on those fourth down and in the fourth quarter that are bringing up long down and distance. They had to attempt a 65-yard field goal because Teddy Bridgewater took like a 13-yard sack about 2 weeks ago. So I mean, he's just not getting it done in the fourth quarter. But I'm getting 10. I absolutely love it. Plus, the Chiefs are coming on a blowout, and this season we haven't seen the Chiefs put back-to-back like good performances, like really good performances, like 35 plus points a game. We really haven't seen the Chiefs do that. We've seen them have a good game and then kind of struggle in their following game until the fourth quarter. That's when they open it up. So I'm getting the Panthers plus 10 here, and Christian McCaffrey's coming back. I can't say no. Oh, and they also had extra time because their last game was a Thursday night football game. So they had, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 extra days to prepare for Kansas City. I love it, man. 10 points. I mean, that's kind of how you should be betting this season in 2020 with COVID. Just take the points, especially if you're getting more than 7. So now we're talking 2 possession game here. Plus 10. I absolutely love it. Panthers plus 10. Christian McCaffrey's back. Teddy Bridgewater, he's really been flying under the radar, folks. Nobody's really been talking about them because Carolina's just kind of, 3-4, not great, not awful, just kind of, intermediate. And we're going to get 10 here. I like the Chiefs. Yes, they're explosive, but they just came off of a high performance game. I think they dip a little bit. And I like the Panthers here plus 10. I'll take the points. They may not win. They may lose by 7. They may lose by 8, 9, 9.5. I don't care. They make up a rule where the Chiefs get half a point for some reason. We don't care. We got Panthers plus 10, and we'll rock with this, folks. I mean, truly, these are some good value here. Ravens money line, Panthers plus 10, folks. This is a great week for betting in the NFL. Make some money this week. You've got 47 minutes for last second bets here. All right, here we go. Seahawks and Bills, and really the Seahawks team should just decimate the Bills. Jamal Adams is playing this week. That's huge for the Seahawks. So I thought they would kind of wait a little bit longer for Jamal Adams because they're really in no rush for having him to come back. I mean, the Seahawks defense is bend but don't break. So yes, they are giving up points, but I mean, they're not losing games, which is what you do in the NFL. That's why you play the game, to not lose the game. You play to win the game. So the Seahawks, they're bend but don't break defense. Yeah, they'll give up points. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. If you're winning games, I don't care. Give up 40 points. Well, not every game, but you know what I mean. So Seahawks are bend but don't break defense. This Bills offense has really been struggling for the last 3 weeks after Josh Allen got out to that kind of hot 4-game start where they started 4-5-0. But these last couple weeks, he's really been struggling. We had the game against the Jets where they couldn't score any touchdowns. Couldn't do that you couldn't score any touchdowns against a Jets defense. What is that? So now you're facing Seattle. Their defense is good. Russell Wilson, Josh Allen is nowhere near Russell Wilson's talent level. So if they try to get into a shootout, the Bills are going to lose because it's Russell Wilson. He can't throw 5 touchdowns and no picks. Josh Allen can't do that. Unfortunate. So it's just a tough schedule here for the Bills. I mean, these last couple weeks facing, the top tier teams, and, they're floundering. They're not winning them. Yeah, so the Seahawks -3 here. I love the Seahawks straight up. The -3 is giving me a little bit of, cause for concern. But I think, in the grand scheme of things, you cannot bet on Josh Allen, unfortunately. I get it. Bills fans, you want to trust Josh Allen, but he just hasn't proven that he's going to take that next step consistently. So, you get a proven team here. The number 2 in my power rankings, the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson, Jamal Adams is back defensively. That's going to hurt Josh Allen, truthfully. Like, Jamal Adams, he's not just a regular safety. He's a roaming safety, folks. He will be all over the field. He will be blitzing Josh Allen. He will be fake blitzing Josh Allen, drop back in coverage, pick Josh Allen off. I mean, folks, Jamal Adams is going to force a turnover, whether he knocks the ball out of Josh Allen's hands because Josh Allen is going to get a little cute and be like, oh, Jamal Adams is coming off the left side. I'm going to rush off the right side. So Jamal Adams sees that. He comes all the way over, makes a tackle. We know Josh Allen has a little bit of trouble holding on to the ball. We get a turnover for Jamal Adams, and I just like the Seahawks team. Their offense, I mean, they just click, man. They don't have any problem scoring the ball. I mean, even in their one loss, the Seattle's one loss, I mean, it went into overtime, and they still put up 30 points and turned the ball over 3 times, folks. So this Seahawks team, with their offense, I mean, they can score at the drop of a hat. They're consistent. We're going to go Seahawks here. Bills just haven't proven anything to us, folks. They just haven't, unfortunately. So we like the Seahawks -3 here. All right, Bears and Titans, and this one is coming down a little bit. If you watched the show on Friday when we made our picks, you would have got a little bit of extra value with the Bears here at +6.5. We see that it has dropped down to Bears +6. I mean, not a lot, but I mean, this Tennessee Titans team is not the high explosive offense that we've kind of seen them, the last 2 of the 3 weeks where they've been putting up 40 points. I mean, that's not the Titans offense. That's just not. They're going to run it 25 to 30 times with Derrick Henry. Tannehill is going to get a solid 220, 240 yards passing, and it's going to be, they kind of max out at 28 points. They max out, in my opinion. This Titans if you're just taking averages, I think they kind of max out at 28 points. I really don't understand how they, were putting up. I mean, the first time they put up the 40 points, it was their defense creating turnovers for short fields. So that's when they put up 40. And then they also put up 40 again because they were getting blown out by the Texans. So they had to just kind of move the ball down the field. And they put up, I think, about 14 points in the fourth quarter in that game. So I mean, this Titan, don't get bogged down by those high-scoring games. That's not the Titans' offense. And, we know the Bears have been struggling putting up the points as well offensively. They finally were able to put up like 20 points in their last outing. So, I mean, that's not promising, but when we watched the film on Nick Foles, we were pretty impressed. We saw some major improvement last week for Nick Foles. So I expect him to keep it up here a little bit. I expect this Bears defense to kind of handle the Titans decently. So I'm getting 6 here, folks. That's a lot. Once again, I'm playing the number. The Bears may not win, but I got a great defense with the Bears that are going to not allow the Titans to go and score 40 points. So that's perfect. I get the 6. Nick Foles has been improving the accuracy, folks. I mean, we looked at it here on Takes by Fans Wednesday when we do our film study. In the fourth quarter, Nick Foles was putting the ball right on the money, and that's something that we haven't seen Nick Foles do this season. So that's a huge green flag for this Bears team that is trying to. I mean, they're in great position. They have a great record. I think they're 5-2, 6-2, something great like that. So I mean, this team knows how to win games. They know how to win close games. So I get 6 here. Nick Foles improving, great defense. Matt Nagy trying his best. I'm gonna go the Bears here, especially since. The Titans have came off a bad loss last week against the Bengals, so you may be thinking to yourself, well, they could be coming up extra fired up, but I'm telling you, this offense of the Titans is not high scoring, so even if we get like a 25-20 game, I'm cool with that. I get 6 points with the Bears. I don't think this is going to be high scoring, so that's why I'm rocking with the 6, folks. This Bears defense is pretty good, and I think they can either shut down Derrick Henry or Ryan Tannehill and let the other one beat them. As we have seen, the Titans, I mean, Derrick Henry's always getting at least 100 yards, and Ryan Tannehill's always throwing for 200 yards. So I mean, none of these teams are stopping the run and the pass. I think the Bears defense can't stop one or the other, and I get 6 points here. That's the story. I get 6 points. I'll take 6 points. Bears +6, folks. I love it. Alrighty then, Texans and Jags are starting this new quarterback. No Gardner Minshew this week. We get Jake Luton. Ever heard of him? Well, if you have, his stats aren't good. So he's played 4 years in college, started at Idaho, did nothing great. He started 6 games. 63%, I'll round it up, 64 completion percentage, but like 400 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. Not good. 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. Not good. His second year, then he transferred to Oregon State, and I mean, he still wasn't playing 4 games. So we can't even take these stats into account. I mean, I'm not going to talk about 4 games when you throw 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. You're throwing a touchdown and a pick every game. That's not good. You're not winning. And then his senior year. 2 senior years here at Oregon State. You would expect this man to get better, and he's still not. He's not even still playing all the games. He played 8 games in 2018, and he had 63% completion percentage for 1,600 yards in 8 games. I mean, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's not good. I mean, college, you need to be scoring a lot of touchdowns and putting up a lot of yards, and he hasn't been doing that. And then his last year in Oregon State, you might be thinking, all right, well, he's a late bloomer. He has to, he really has to get 3 years of experience before he's actually good. But, I mean, look at this. I mean, 62% completion percentage. That's not good in college, folks. It's not. You need to be at least 65% in college, at least. And he's at 62 here. Not good. 2,700 yards in 11 games. I mean, we're not airing it out here. And then you get 28 touchdowns. I'll give him that. 3 interceptions. So he has cleaned that up a little bit, but it took him 3 years to get it right, and you're in the Pac-12. I mean, there's no real good defenses in the Pac-12. It's kind of kind of high explosive offenses in the Pac-12, so he wasn't putting up the yards or the completion percentage. So what was he doing in the Pac-12? So I don't think this man's going to work. He's also not a runner. So he's not a dual threat because we've got in 2019, he rushed 44 times for negative 87 yards. So the man can't rush. So he has to get it done with his arm, but he can't do it with his arm. In these stats lines, folks, I mean, he's never gotten to a bowl game. I mean, what are we doing here? So I don't think Jake Luton is going to work. Luton, I don't care. You haven't proven yourself, and I don't think he's going to do it here against this Texans team. I mean, this Texans team's offense, folks, is the best thing about the Texans. I mean, they have 4 big wide receivers. I say it every week because that's how impressed I am, and I that's why I keep believing in the Texans offense because they have so many wide receivers, and I keep believing in the Falcons offense because they have great receivers as well. So I try to buy these Texans in Atlanta because I'm not just getting bogged down by the record. I love these offenses. This Texans team really should have no worries covering the 6.5. I do like Texans minus 6.5 because I think they are just going to outscore the Jags. I don't think Jake Luton is going to be able to put up any points because the Jags don't even have that many weapons. So the Texans here, this is probably their easiest game of the season. Look for them to get back on track in the win column. Minus 6.5 when you have Deshaun Watson. Folks, Jacksonville's not going to put up any points. I get minus 6.5. I think I'll take it. The Texans have all the offensive talent. The Jags had no offensive talent. We'll go Texans minus 6.5. Did we put this on our moneymaker? We didn't. This probably would have been my 7th pick if I had to take one. Obviously, giving up 6.5 is a lot in any NFL game, so that's probably why I'm a little hesitant on taking it. But I think it's fine. You're right under that 7 hook, that touchdown hook. So absolutely fantastic. Texans are going to have no problem scoring this week, folks. It's just I think honestly they win probably 42-17. Nothing close. 35-17. Minus 6.5 is really no trouble at that point. I love it. Alrighty, Broncos and Falcons, and this one I've really been wrestling with. This spread is out of control. I would try to avoid this spread, but I do like Atlanta straight up because they're at home. Julio Jones is still good. Yes, Calvin Ridley's not playing, which may hurt him a little bit here, but Julio Jones is back or is still here. So, and I expect the Falcons to run it with Todd Gurley, and Matt Ryan's been looking good. So I've got no problem with this Falcons offense. Their defense is really trying to clean it up a little bit. Once again, this Atlanta team just played on Thursday night, so they had extra time to prepare for this Broncos team, where this Broncos team last week, did this line just move as we're talking? Folks, people are watching. I mean, is that proof right there? As we're talking, we like Atlanta. Atlanta goes from -4 to -4.5. People are watching. So, I mean, the Broncos last week, they were impressive. I mean, if you come back to win the game in the fourth quarter, that's truly impressive. If you struggled to put up any points in the first half of the game and then you put up like 28 plus points in the second half, that's once again pretty impressive as well. So I was impressed what Drew Lock was able to do with the Broncos last week. I do like this Broncos defense. I think it's solid. But they do have to travel. Drew Lock's always not good on the road. He is a little bit better on the home stadium. And they just took a little bit last week to get going, but they did end up get going, and they did end up winning. So well done to them. But they do have to travel on the road. It's not going to be, kind of the same game it was last week. And this Atlanta team is hungry for wins. I mean, they're undefeated. Lost the game. I know they're 3 games in without a head coach. They may have lost game 2. I know they won game 1 and game 3. Game 2 without a head coach, they may have lost. But anyway, I mean, folks, they're flourishing without a head coach, and that's kind of what we thought would happen because Dan Quinn, he's got the funk attached to him, blowing the Super Bowl lead, blowing 2 big leads here in this season. So don't get bogged down by this Atlanta Falcons record, folks. I mean, they were in these games. They should have won those kind of 2 games where they blew those big leads, and then, if you add 2 wins to this Atlanta team, I mean, we got a whole nother narrative on our hands. So this Atlanta Falcons offense is truly talented. They're learning how to win. Their new interim head coach, in my opinion, is doing a fantastic job controlling the locker room. I mean, when you have kind of a substitute teacher, I mean, people go wild, and the fact that you're winning games without your head coach, that talks a lot about what this interim coach is doing for Atlanta. So I love them to keep it going. The -4.5 is where I'm getting hung up on. I love just Atlanta straight up. The spread is a little bit crazy for me. because I do love the Broncos plus 4.5, but I don't know if they can consistently score this week. So I think the best play here, the best play is probably just Atlanta money line. I know it's nothing great value. You put 500 on it, you win 730, so you're only winning $230, in total, which is obviously not great if you're betting 500, but I think it's solid. I think it's safe. I think it's the best play if you wanted to take something in this game. I think just Atlanta money line is the way to go this week. Alrighty, then we got Lions and Vikings, and Matthew Stafford is playing for the Lions, so well done there. I don't think we talked this game because I think the spread disappeared from DraftKings, maybe because of a COVID case, probably because of what Matt Stafford has been going on with him because of that COVID, being around the COVID, and then having to go like 5 straight days with a negative COVID test just to play today. So he is playing. The line is here. You can bet the game. Here we go. Lions here. They're getting +3. This is very interesting. Vikings. Yes, I do like Dalvin Cook. That's probably the only good thing about this Vikings team, offensively, defensively, special teams, coaching. Dalvin Cook is the best player on this Vikings team. We'll see if they try to keep up that strategy. Hopefully, Mike Zimmer does. He's a pretty smart coach. I don't think they will abandon what is working for something that is not working. Kirk Cousins, throwing the ball 30 times a game has not been working. We've seen the multiple turnovers and the multiple L's he's been taking. So they finally rushed the ball. They get a great running game from Dalvin Cook last week, like 160 yards, 3 touchdowns, rushing and a catching touchdown. So Vikings on that front, seem pretty good. I expect another heavy running attack from this Vikings team. Not like probably Kirk Cousins under 20 passes, probably about 15 to 18. He was at 14 last week, so I expect maybe a little bit more, just probably not as much as he's really been seeing. So, in this Detroit team on the road, they're pretty good on the road. They're not good at home, but they're good on the road here. I think all their wins are coming on the road this season. Matthew Stafford's good to go. I just don't know how I feel about this Detroit team. I mean, they're good in the first quarter. I mean, we see it every week. They're scoring touchdowns on like their first or second drive. So they're good in the first quarter, but then just trickle off, and they don't have that longevity. And that just kind of speaks to poor coaching, not getting your team 100% prepared. The conditioning is not there. You're blowing leads. You're losing leads in the second half of games. So can't trust this Lions team. Can't trust this Vikings team. I stay away from the game. I may take the points if I have to bet. I do the +3. I'm not going to trust Kirk Cousins -3, especially of how well this Lions team kind of plays on the road when they have kind of no pressure on them. So yes, Dalvin Cook is good. I expect the Vikings to stick with that game plan. Mike Zimmer knows what's going to work. They did that so they had the bye. Then they came with that strong rushing attack. That was because Mike Zimmer was like, all right, I've got this week to kind of figure out what our strength of this offense is. He's watching tape. He's watching, practice film. He's like, oh, Kirk Cousins, he can't play. That's what the problem here is in Minnesota. So we'll go Dalvin Cook rushing attack. Oh, and it works, and it beats Aaron Rodgers. Oh, okay, I think we'll do this against the Lions next week as well. So I expect the Vikings to have the same exact game plan as they did last week. I expect this Lions team to probably score about 21 points in the first half, maybe score 3 points in the second half, keep it a little close. And I don't know. I stay away from this one. I don't even want to call this one. I don't even want to call this one with the spread, folks. It's way too close. I don't even like any of these unders or overs. I would go maybe the under because the Vikings are going to be running off the clock a lot, running the ball, eating up the clock. We saw they only had 2 drives last week because they went on like 12 plays, 8-minute drives. So, I mean, folks, they didn't have a lot of chances, not a lot of opportunities in the first half to score. So I'm staying away from it. Stay away from it. Don't bet that one. Not a good one. All right, here we go. Giants in Washington. And we see that Golden Tate is out for the Giants now. I think that is actually going to help him because it seems like he's being a little bit of a hassle in the locker room, kind of dividing the squad. So I think that may actually help them more than hurt them. We see that Daniel Jones really doesn't air it out to Golden Tate a lot. He usually kind of dinks and dunk to their tight end, Evan Ingram. So, now that Evan Ingram's playing, or he's still playing, I don't think they're going to take too much of a step back here. We also know the Giants keep themselves in game. he almost beat Tom Brady. He almost beat him. Had him, on a 2-point conversion to go into overtime to beat Tom Brady. Who would have thought that, folks? Tom Brady was minus 12 going into that game. So close game. The Giants always do that. Washington, they should have beat the Giants in their first meeting in New York because Ron Rivera went for the 2-point conversion and didn't get it. So this is the battle of quarterbacks that go for 2 and don't get it, not clutch quarterbacks. That's what we got here. So I think I like the Giants +3. I think this line has really been climbing. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Giants like +1 when we looked at it on Thursday and Friday. And now it's up to 3, and that's because Golden Tate is not playing, so, he's attributing for about a point, maybe a point and a half here. I love the Giants +3. Daniel Jones keeps his teams in games, folks. This Giants team really doesn't get blown out. I think they got blown out once. In 7 games, that's the outlier. That's not the average. So I love the Giants here. I get the 3. Love it. I love Daniel Jones better than Kyle Allen. I don't think Kyle Allen is a huge upgrade from Dwayne Haskins that they said. I don't get that either. And they were looking to trade Dwayne Haskins. I didn't get that either. Well, I did get that because the man can't play and you shouldn't be starting him, but I don't know what Washington was thinking switching from Dwayne Haskins to Kyle Allen. But we digress. This Washington team does have an emerging wide receiver who I am big on. I think it starts with an L. I am blanking on the last name, unfortunately. But I'm getting the Giants +3. I mean, folks, both these teams are not good offensively or defensively. Yeah, Washington does have a better defense than the Giants do, but I think the Giants have a better offense than Washington does. So it was a close game meeting 1. I think it will be a close meeting 2. I get the Giants +3. I'm just going to take the points here. I'm going to believe in Daniel Jones keeping the game close, having the opportunity to tie or win the game going into their last drive, and I'm going to bet on Daniel Jones this week, folks. He's going to finally be clutch and pull out a last-second win. I get the Giants +3. I'm cool with that. We'll rock with it. Giants +3, I think, is the better play here. All right, Raiders and Chargers, and this one has really been coming down because I think it was Raiders +1 on Thursday, so this one's moving a little bit, and I think it's moving in the right direction. I do like this Raiders team better than I like this Chargers team. Now, I do like Justin Herbert. I think he's the best player on the Chargers, and he's a rookie quarterback. Absolutely fantastic. The arm is good with Justin Herbert, but we've seen Anthony Lynn in this Chargers play calling. They don't let this man open it up. They'll let him open it up for one play and then dink and dunk, and that's why they blow the leads. That's why they lose in the fourth quarter, because they're not keeping their foot on the pressure. They're not going all out on offense. They're having to settle for field goals. We saw it last week, folks. Justin Herbert has the arm. Let this man continue to work for a full 4 quarters. I mean, he's not going to be tired. The man's a rookie. He's barely ever played, so there's no reason this man should be tired. It's just I think this kind of Chargers team is holding him back a little bit with their play calling and their play designs, so I don't trust this Chargers offense where this Raiders offense, I mean, they've proven they can be explosive. Last week, they only put up 16 points, not great, but this Raiders team defensively, they only gave up 6, so perfect. I do think I like what John Gruden is trying to do with this Raiders team. It seems like he wants to go speed, heavy on the speed, and I think that's kind of how you coach. In today's NFL, you have to have speed. If you can tackle, that's kind of not the most important thing. Just run into him in full speed. Hopefully, you can bring him down. Speed Speed kills in this league. I mean, we see Tyreek Hill. He's one of the best receivers in this league for the Chiefs because he literally can just blow by anybody. He can blow by safeties that are, 15 yards off the ball in 2 seconds. So Patrick Mahomes got free throws there. So I do like what the Raiders are doing defensively. They held Baker Mayfield, and that's a huge sign, folks, because Baker Mayfield without his number one weapon, OBJ, and they shut it down, defensively. So that was a huge sign, huge green flag for the Raiders last week. I see them kind of upping the offense a little bit, scoring more than 16, and I think Justin Herbert may struggle a little bit here against this Raiders defense that is so fast. So I do like the Raiders here. I kind of agree with this line kind of moving. It started at Raiders +1. Now it's slowly climbing or going down to Raiders -1, and I think that's smart. I like it, and I go Raiders -1 here. I like Justin Herbert. I do, but I cannot trust this Chargers team. I mean, this isn't a Justin Herbert problem, folks. I mean, the last 3 seasons, the Chargers have been losing close game, losing those kind of one-possession games. blowing the fourth quarter leads, blowing leads that they kind of usually score first with a touchdown, and they kind of blow it from there because they just don't trust Justin Herbert for some reason. I don't get it. So Raiders here, love them all day, even Chargers at home, it doesn't matter. Alrighty, then we got probably the best game of the week, the Steelers versus the Cowboys, who are starting Garrett Gilbert, who we just did a deep film dive on our Saturday show yesterday. We looked at Garrett Gilbert and Cooper Rush. Both are absolute not good. Both are very not good. So I don't think there's any way this Cowboys team can be competitive offensively. They're not scoring more than 9 points or 14 points. I think that those are the two scores, the 2 points that they put up with Andy Dalton at the helm. They're not going to score more points without Andy Dalton. It's just not going to happen. The Steelers defense is the best defense in the NFL. This Cowboys defense is the worst defense in the NFL, so I expect Big Ben to kind of have a free game here. He's been dinking and dunking all season long. Look for him to air it out this week because this Cowboys team defensively cannot cover anybody. And, the Steelers team, I think, is going to get kind of off to a really hot start. I mean, if the Cowboys start on offense, it's going to be a 3-and-out or a pick-6 kind of first drive. If the Cowboys start on defense, Big Ben's just going to go drive right down the field and score kind of within 2 minutes and 30 seconds, folks. So the Cowboys are damned if they do and damned if they don't. Whichever they take, if they start with offense, start with defense, they've already lost it from that kind of opening coin toss. So unfortunate. Obviously, the big question in this game is the spread. Can the Steelers cover 14? Yes, they can. Will they? I don't know. That's always so much to give up. I don't take it either way. We stay away from this game. We like maybe the over. That's why you can root for, multiple pick sixes by Dallas, some nice turnovers by Dallas, giving the Steelers some short fields, making it easier for Big Ben to go down and, I only have to go 30 yards because Minkah Fitzpatrick, picked off Garrett Gilbert at the 4-yard line. So it's like, I can't trust the Cowboys with 14 points offensively because Zeke hasn't been showing up, even though he's kind of the main man now these last 3 weeks when Dak went down. So the fact that Zeke's not stepping up, if Zeke's not stepping up, nobody else is gonna buy into it. Mike McCarthy's not a good coach. He's not getting the team prepared. Garrett Gilbert was in the AAF, folks. He couldn't do anything in college. Had to kind of go to the AAF to try and get his career figured out again, and he looked okay at that. But folks, the AAF is not even kind of close to that kind of. You kind of got less collegiate speed because players are getting older and out of their prime in the AAF, and then you also don't have kind of the speed of the NFL because if they were good, they would be in the NFL, not the AAF. So, the fact that he's doing good in the AAF should not be a stat that we try to focus on. If you're not good in college, you don't have it in college, unfortunately, you're not going to have it, 4 years removed from college. It's just not how it works, folks. No matter how much you practice, you can only practice and get better so much. Just the limitations physically, what your DNA makes up, you do get held back by that. So if you weren't good in college, I'm not going to think that, since he did good in the AAF, that he should be good to go, that he should be starting in the NFL. Just not how it works. In my opinion, don't think the Cowboys do anything offensively, and we like the Steelers. We're going to go the Steelers minus 14. We're going to endorse it over the Cowboys 14. I just cannot trust. If we're taking 14 points here, we're expecting the Cowboys to try and win or try to lose 13-0. Because they're not scoring offensively, folks. They're not. The 14 you get here, that's what you're going to get for the game. So you better hope that the Steelers can't score more than 14. And we know every single game the Steelers have faced in or played in, they've put up more than 14 points. And this Cowboys defense is the worst defense in the league. So kind of multiply that by 4. Not good. Not good for the Cowboys. So we'll endorse Steelers minus 14 here. Live on the show. This is the only time you'll get this. I'm not going to tweet it. Not going to put it on the website. Steelers minus 14 is endorsed, live stream only. Here we go. We're continuing on 3 more games, 20 minutes out from kickoff. Absolutely. All right, here we go. Dolphins Cardinals. Wow, and this one is moving. Why did this one move up so much? What the heck happened there? That went from Dolphins plus 4.5 to Dolphins plus 6, just like that? There's nobody out for the Dolphins. There's nobody in that wasn't in for the Cardinals. Alex Trebek just died. What the hell is going on? See what happens when you go live for 40 minutes? All hell breaks loose. Dolphins go from +4 to +6, and Alex Trebek dies. What the hell is going on here? Rip Alex Trebek. Can we even finish the show now? Why did the Dolphins... That's kind of the more pressing case. Why did the Dolphins go from +4.5 to +6? I don't know. That's great value in my opinion. I took them +4.5. Shoot. Alrighty, let's get back to it. Now that we've got that kind of bummer on us. All right, Dolphins +6. Yes, I like them +4.5. So obviously, I'm gonna love it +6. Kyle, yeah, we're not. I've talked about it so many times. I mean, Tua's performance last week, the game plan went out the window. The Brian Flores did not game plan that the defense would go and put up 21 points itself in the first half. It just didn't. So we were very ultra conservative, more conservative than we were expecting to be with Tua. I don't expect it to be that conservative. This Cardinals defense has been good the last 2 weeks. We'll see. This is going to be kind of the solidifying week. Is the Cardinals defense the real deal? You kind of do it 2 weeks in a row, then you have that bye. If you can continue to do it this week, that's going to be huge, and I will give huge respect to the Cardinals. This Dolphins defense has been good right from the jump since week 1, so I'm not worried about the Dolphins defense. Kyler Murray, I think I'm a little bit more concerned with than Tua, honestly, because he's only going to DeAndre Hopkins multiple times a game. I mean, every game, DeAndre Hopkins is the leading receiver and the leading targeted receiver as well. So Kyler Murray just loves him. So if the Dolphins just take DeAndre Hopkins out of the game, I think the Cardinals offensively are going to be lost. Kyler Murray has thrown multiple interceptions in games, hasn't always thrown, more than one touchdown in games as well. When they faced Dallas and their defense just absolutely crushed Dallas, I mean, Kyler Murray, I don't think threw 50%. It was kind of like that Dolphins game last week where it's just all defense and, Kyler Murray, the quarterback, and Tua in this case as well, they just kind of struggled, didn't do anything offensively. It was just winning by the defense. So that's kind of what we're going to get here. I think we're going to get a great defensive battle. I'm going to take Dolphins +6 here. I think that's so many points. You get that out of your head that this is a 10-game audition for Tua. It's not, folks. It's not. Adam Schefter is a liar, a dirty, filthy liar, that man is. This man's the real deal. Tua is our quarterback. He's good, folks. The accuracy, we looked at it on our Wednesday show. The accuracy is there with Tua. It's just the game plan got crazy because the defense went wild. The defense went truly wild. So I love Dolphins +6 here. It's still trying to figure out why this one went from, because we don't have Gaskin. Is that why we don't have our running back? We still got Jordan Howard. He's still good to go. And I think we brought somebody up from the practice squad. So I think we're down to like our last 2 running backs. That could be why it went from -4 to +4.5 to +6, but I still like it. I still like Jordan Howard. I think I like Jordan Howard over Gaskin anyway. Alrighty, Saints and Bucks, and we see this one came down a little bit. We got it. We locked it in at Saints +4.5, and we see it coming down to Saints +3.5. Why? Michael Thomas is playing. That's why it went down. So Michael Thomas is accredited for a full point according to Vegas, and we can see that. So we got some great extra value here. We already locked in our number at Saints +4.5. Once again, another reason why you have to watch live here, folks. You could have got +4.5 if you listened to us on our Friday show. So here we go. Still like the Saints here. Still like the Saints +3.5, right over that kind of 3 hook. Absolutely fantastic. This is going to be a shootout, folks. A barn burner, if you will. Division game, rivalry game. Saints, Breeze, Brady. They both have exceptional weapons here. Expect a high-scoring game. Expect a close game. Expect a fun game. I mean, this is why it's on primetime TV, Sunday Night Football, folks, because we get Brady, Breeze, potential 2 GOATs. In my opinion, Breeze is the GOAT over Tom Brady. We'll see if anything changes this game. You can't even take the first matchup into consideration. That was Brady's first game on a new team in 20 years, folks, so stop it. Stop saying, the Saints won game 1, so they'll win game 2. It's got nothing to do. There's nothing you can take away from game 1 to try to attribute it to, week 9, their second meeting. So I'm just going to take the points here. These teams, both are good offensively. The Saints have been good offensively, putting up 26 points these last 2 weeks without Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas comes back. You already know the points are going to elevate even more. So we've got no problems. We'll take the points here. It's going to be a close one. Division games are usually close. Games are close in general. Division games are even closer. We'll take the 3.5. We actually took 4.5. Oh, and the line just changed as we were talking. Oh, just the odds a little bit. Thought we got another one live here. All right, and that brings us to the last game. Patriots Jets, and we see this line move a ton as well. Why? Because we just said at the top of the show, Sam Darnold is not playing. So it went from Jets +7 to Jets +9.5 without Sam Darnold. So they count Sam Darnold as 2.5 points. This is all great information to really know if you are consistently betting week after week. So with the Jets here, Jets offensively are not good. We know this. Patriots offensively, once again, for the last 3 weeks have also not been good. This Jets defense has not been good. They just let Patrick Mahomes throw 400 yards and 5 touchdowns on them. This Patriots defense is okay. They held the Broncos to 5 field goals. They held Josh Allen to no touchdowns. Decent. But Cam Newton, he's really kind of, the factor here. We saw him last week before the game. He knows he can't lose anymore. He knows he has to step up. He knows losing is unacceptable in New England. And then what does he do in the game? He fumbles the game-winning drive. I mean, folks, either speak it or act it. We prefer your actions because they do speak louder than words, I hear. And so I just can't get behind this New England offense. I think I may be crazy here. Another endorsed live stream pick here. We're not going to take this one ourselves, but we will endorse it for the live stream audience here. We're going to go Jets +9.5. I'm crazy. I know. I hate Adam Gase. I think he's the worst coach in the league. I even hate Joe Flacco. I don't think this man, he's a thief. He stole $100 million from the Baltimore Ravens. He cannot play in this league. The Jets have no offense. The Jets have no defense. They can't call plays. Adam Gase gave up play calling duties, and the Jets have only been able to put up like 10 points since then. So they can't do anything offensively. And now I'm talking myself out of this pick. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not endorsing it anymore. I just can't trust the Patriots -9.5, and I can't trust Adam Gase with 9.5 either. So I'm endorsing staying away from the game. I take it back. I take the Jets +9.5 back. They can't score offensively, folks. Bill Belichick's defense as well. Oh my God, Joe Flacco, he's going to throw 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. That's the guarantee. Let's see if we can get something great here. We've got a couple more minutes. We'll try to end 5 minutes before kickoff so you guys can, exit the stream and, go to your television to watch. So it gives you 5 minutes for that. So we'll do a couple more minutes here. Let's see if we can get a good, solid endorsed bet for Monday night game tomorrow. Let's see if we get anything good here. Let's go to my favorite halves. What do we got here? Oh, this is probably our game lines. I'm looking for points by team in the first half. I'm usually very good at picking those. You can ask anybody. Pretty good at that. Doesn't look like we are going to get it. Is it under team props? Here it is. Total points by New England in the first half, over 13.5 or over 7.5 for the Jets. Okay. Now, I think I like this now. Over 7.5 points in the first half. We've seen the Jets kind of get out to good drives on their scripted plays. We've seen the Jets put up 7 points on kind of their first or second drive, kind of like what the Lions do. So good scripted plays, 7.5 touchdown field goal in the first half. I mean, folks, come on. Can you get any easier than that? So we are officially endorsing this. I don't like the Patriots over 13.5 for the first half because I can't trust Cam Newton to put up 2 touchdowns. I can't. Maybe he gets 10, but I'd rather have the Jets getting 10. They're at home, Monday Night Football. Division game, so they'll be a little bit more energized for it. And, Cam Newton is proven he turns the ball over. So we'll go -7.5 here. Jets over 7.5. That's our official endorsed bet for Monday night tomorrow. You'll only get it here on the live stream right now. We will not repeat it. Might repeat it on the show Monday. We'll talk about it. Yeah, but that's really it. So big spread changes coming in the Jets game. We know because Sam Darnold's not playing. Saints went down a little bit. Dolphins went up. Unfortunately, that's you live and die by betting a little early here. We locked it in at Dolphins +4.5. Really would have loved to have the 6, obviously. But yeah, other than that, I think that's what we've got today. I don't even want to refresh my Twitter feed because we'll get more bad news, unfortunately. So we'll just leave it here. 10 minutes out from kickoff. Have a great Sunday. Hopefully your team wins. Hopefully your bets hit. Hopefully you've taken our advice and can win some money this week. We're winning money over here, so we're just trying to pass on the savings on to you, pass on the winnings on to you. So that is it. We will be back Monday to break down all the crazy action. Folks, we're going to have some crazy action, right? What game's going to be absolutely nuts? Probably Lions, Vikings is probably going to be crazy. That's probably going to have a crazy outcome. Texans are going to put up a lot of points. We're going to have to talk about that. So whatever happens today, we will be breaking it all down tomorrow on our Monday show, noon Eastern, twitch.tv/takesbyfans. Follow me on Twitter @takesbyfans. Be a part of the conversation. But we will be back tomorrow, folks, to break it all down. So join us tomorrow if you will. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. Hopefully your team wins. I'm rooting for your teams, folks. Rooting for your teams this week. Alrighty, go enjoy a full day of football because I will be doing the same. Alrighty, I'll see you tomorrow.